accidentally watched a BL on an anime streaming site when I was 14 and I never looked back. Hi, my name is Sunny and today we are going to be talking about yaoi. Oh, and to answer their question, yeah, the first BL, I say with quotation marks, I ever watched was in fact Loveless. So, yeah, those are some interesting years. If you don't know what I am referring to when I say BL or yaoi is a subgenre in Japanese animation, which is gay men. There is also the opposite. There is yuri, which is shoujo ai, BL shonen ai, BL shonen boy I love, boys love. We get it. It's gay cartoons. Who doesn't love gay cartoons? Gay men, that's who. Because yaoi is written by women for women in Japan. Because somehow Japan got it all backwards. Japan, homophobic. We get it. They're behind everyone else in the world. But they make great queer cartoons. Gay people can't get legally married in Japan, but they can watch two gay fictional characters have the best romance of their life on TV. Can I make it make sense? No. Are we going to be talking about that as an issue in this video? No. We're going to be talking about why I watch BL, and I'm going to be giving you some fire recommendations. Why does a person such as myself, or anyone really, watch BL? I am not speaking for everyone. I just want to say I'm speaking for myself. But there are personally two reasons why I started watching BL anime and became a fan of boys love from such a young age. And the first one is honestly representation. Back in the day when I discovered anime, when I was a ripe old 14-year-old, the most queer representation I got in media was like
the 6th season, episode 12 of 90210, when the two girls kissed in their bedroom at a sleepover.
And that was it. I watched all of 90210 for like 3 seconds of queerness. Not very good. It was far and few in between. So when one stumbles upon a treasure trove of queer cartoons on the internet, of course they're going to be like, what is this magical thing I just found? And then you accidentally watch Loveless and you're like, what the fuck? It is honestly the most easily accessible queer media to me as a teen. Nowadays, almost every single TV show on Netflix has a queer main character or side character, or at least some sort of queer romance or trans storyline. Back in 2011, that was not heard of. So watching a yaoi where oftentimes every single character was kind of gay, my little brain exploded. Reason number 2, which is a reason that came later in my anime watching journey, and that is because yaoi lacks women. You might be wondering, you were seeking queer representation, so why would you go for BL rather than like yuri, rather than shoujo ai? And the answer is that girls in anime are just not good female leads. They're just not good girl characters. I literally have to like seed through anime to find one that's not just like fan service, bouncing titties, girl screaming in like a fake high-pitched voice for 12 episodes straight. But when you pick a BL, you can almost guarantee that there's not a single girl character, which honestly I prefer in my anime because I just don't like the way that women are portrayed in anime. More often than not, I can probably count on one hand how many strong female leads I've seen in an anime, and like 3 of them are from Attack on Titan. So if we're going to talk about BL, we have to address the problems that are in BL and the harmful tropes that they portray. Like I said, yaoi is written by women for women most times. Often than not, there are very few actual gay mangaka in Japan that create and produce BL manga that then gets turned into an anime. I've probably read about 5 or 6 that are written by gay men and seen maybe 2 anime. So obviously with that, a lot of problems arise. There's a lot of harmful stereotypes in it, which I'm not here to like call out or point out. That is not my place to do so. I will acknowledge that there is a problem with that in the community that people like to ignore, as well as acknowledge that there is a problem with consent in a lot of more explicit BL yaoi anime. But yeah, I just have to acknowledge that I don't condone the actions of a lot of the characters in this, but when you are thirsty for queer representation recommendation, you kind of will just watch anything. So have I watched shows that have some unfavorable plot points? Yes, but that's why I'm not going to recommend those to you today, but I am going to mention some that I think are still quality shows. They just have some issues because they are older. Those 3 shows are obviously Junjo, Romantica, and Sekaiichi. These are some of the first long-running yaoi that I ever watched, and they have a near and dear place in my heart. I would actually say that Junjo is one of my favorites, but they are problematic, so if you're going to watch them, be warned, trigger warning, there's like SA and stuff like that in the first, I can't even say in the first couple episodes, in all of the episodes, but at some point, it becomes less jarring. The next one is Love Stage. This one in particular is very, very cute. It has a very cute story, but they just had to throw in some unconsensual fun times. So, you know, do with that what you will. My honorable mentions are Doukyusei, Love Stage, Junjo Romantica, and Sekaiichi. These are all very good shows that are near and dear to my heart, but they do have some problems because they are hella old. And moving on to the last segment in this video, my current BL yaoi shonen ai recommendations for you that I think are like some of the best queer anime to come out of the yaoi BL world. These, I believe, stand on their own as good shows. I think anyone can enjoy these and enjoy their story, whether you're looking for queer representation or not. So I have 3 TV shows and 2 movies for you. So let's start with the TV shows. The first recommendation I have for you is my happy-go-lucky, like, it's basically a gay shoujo anime. Now I know that makes no sense, but like, think like Say I Love You, like, think like those type of shows, but it is 2 high school guys, and that is Sasaki and Miyano. I randomly found this on the Funimation app on my Roku TV, and I had no idea that it had even came out, and it is literally the cutest love story. It's about a boy in high school who likes to partake in reading like yaoi manga, and he ends up like loaning volumes to this guy, and the guy like reads the volumes and is like, oh, wait. And then it's like a cute love story where it's like has that super like slow burn where it takes them almost the entire anime for anything to happen, like all the early 2000s shoujo anime had, that I couldn't really enjoy because I didn't want to just see a bunch of straight people being annoying for 12 episodes. But when it's Sasaki and Miyano, it is so good. There is hardly anything super problematic about this show. There is actual talks about sexuality and being gay, which is uncommon for yaoi. You wouldn't, if you've never watched a BL, you're probably like, what do you mean they're not gay? It's a trope that the guys are like,
I want to marry you and I love you so much, but I'm not gay. No, I'm not gay.
Sasaki and Miyano though, yeah, like there are gay characters in this show. They do like talk about being gay and coming out, which brings me on to my next recommendation, which also follow along those lines, but it is a little bit of a sadder, more melancholy anime, but it does have a happy ending, and that is Given. If you have not heard of Given, you are living under a rock. I love this show with all my might. This story follows 2 boys that end up joining a band together, and I don't want to really spoil anything, but just know that like this show also has like open conversations about sexuality in between bandmates. The relationship between the 2 characters is known amongst the friends and the bandmates, which is unheard of. In a lot of yaoi, they sort of live in like a gay bubble where all of the characters are gay and none of them know each other are gay. They're all like, everyone would think I'm so weird if I'm sleeping with a dude. Meanwhile, all their coworkers are also sleeping with dudes, and we read it in the previous chapter. Junjo Romantica. Given is very good about that. There are some amazing conversations between the main character, Uenoyama, and his bandmate, and I just literally, this show is so good. The OVA also is like chef's kiss. I literally could watch it 10 times. Trigger warning for character death. I would just look up a list of trigger warnings before you watch it, but I do wholeheartedly recommend it, and it does have some happy and funny points, and it does have a happy ending in my opinion. This last one, I wasn't sure if I was going to put on my list, but it is one of my personal favorites, and it doesn't have that many major issues for being kind of old. And it is called Hirorijime, My Hero. This is a little iffy because it is an age gap relationship. It is between a young teacher and a high school kid. But I do believe that the high school kid is the age of consent in Japan, which doesn't make it okay. But if you're going to criticize this show, but then you've watched Pretty Little Liars and didn't see anything wrong with Arya and Ezra's relationship, like that's just like a double standard. Putting that aside, I don't know if we should put that aside, but we're putting it aside because this show is really cute. It follows a group of friends, and obviously one of the friends has an older brother who is the teacher, who gets into a relationship with the delinquent type boy who was friends with his little brother. He ends up becoming his teacher, and it actually does like delve deep into the like, this is taboo, this could ruin your life if the school found out, if the administration found out. But then also at the same time, there is a storyline about the little brother and his relationship with one of his childhood friends. And everyone in the show knows that this boy is in a relationship with another boy, which, like I said, unheard of in a lot of BL anime. Like I said, it's a little iffy on morals at some point, but it is really cute and really sweet, and it really dives deep into like the emotions of realizing that you have a crush on someone who is not the typical person you would have a crush on. Those are all three of the TV shows I'm going to recommend. I do have an honorable mention TV show, but I didn't want to put it as like one of my main recommendations because 100% all of you guys have seen Yuri on Ice, but this is like baby's first BL because it's not a BL, it's like a shonen ai. It's like barely a BL. It's like barely, okay? It's very hinted at. It's a sports anime, and every sports anime is a little gay in my opinion. But it's so cute. The animation is beautiful, ice skating, and it is a type of show where if you are gay and you are watching it, you'll be like, oh my god, these gays. But if like your grandma walks in and watches it, she'd be like, oh my god, a lovely ice skating cartoon. So, you know, do with that what you will. You probably could watch Yuri on Ice on an airplane and like not be completely weirded out about people looking over at your screen. Let's talk about movies. I only recently started watching movies, anime movies. I wasn't really big into movies. I'm not really big into movies, but these two movies recently got my heart. Well, one of them I watched a really long time ago, and we will talk about that one first, and that is doukyusei. Doukyusei, or Classmates, is a beautifully animated movie. It is a lot older than a lot of the things I mentioned in this list, but it is so cute. The animation style is like to die for. They're so lanky. I love them. They have old school like yaoi proportions, which I like. I know a lot of people don't, but I love when their hands are like 5 times bigger than their faces. But it follows the story of two classmates, one who is a nerdy, studious type, and one that is sort of like a delinquent out there in a band. And they have an unlikely friendship that then blossoms into an unlikely relationship. I can't say that this is like the greatest movie you'll ever watch, but it's definitely a cute short watch that like gets your heart a-fluttering. It makes you yearn for something like that. It makes you yearn for a high school romance that you will never have. So if that sounds like something you want to torture yourself with, doukyusei. The last recommendation I have for you is sort of my most risque recommendation on this list. It is called Strangers by the Shore. This is a more recent one. I have watched this one in the past couple months, so it might have recency bias, but it is definitely really cute. It follows the story of a boy who lives in Okinawa after he came out to his parents and got disowned for being gay, and one of his childhood acquaintances comes to the island and professes his love for him, and we get to see their relationship blossom through family drama and just through the ups and downs of like being queer in Japan, specifically in Okinawa. It is so cute, and it also talks a lot about and deals with the issues of queer sex. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but I did. That is like very, very unheard of. It deals with it in like a very nonchalant way, which I like. It's not like one of them is super making a big deal like,
Oh, but I'm I'm straight.
Like they love, like listen, it's good. I recommend it. Don't watch it around your family. Oh my god, my memory card is completely out of memory, so I have to make this quick. But yeah, like I said, just don't watch that one in front of your parents. Unless your parents are gay, then go for it, but maybe still not. But anyways, that is it for this video. If you guys want me to do a more in-depth video about every single BL I've ever watched, I can do that, the good, the bad, the ugly, but this is just me dipping my toes into the water of doing a sort of commentary video like this about anime topics. This is my second video ever on my YouTube, so deal with me. Come along for the journey. Subscribe. I should probably say that. Subscribe down below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you had for lunch today. I had tofu spring rolls from Whole Foods with peanut sauce, and I will see you guys hopefully soon. See you later. Bye.